Welcome to Health in Retirement. Each week, we'll discuss some of the health challenges facing retirees. We'll focus on more than just physical health. We'll look at financial health, mental and emotional health, as well as spiritual health. With your host, Rebecca Jones. This is Health in Retirement.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Jones with Health in Retirement, where we talk about everything to do with your health, whether that's mental, physical, spiritual well-being, and your financial health. Being that health is one of our biggest assets, it's really important for us to bring you informative information so that you can be in the driver's seat of your health. Today, we're joined here with Alexis. Welcome, Alexis.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, she's with Restore Hyper Wellness.
Yep.
So can you tell us a little bit about what Restore is about?
Of course, yeah. So we our CEO started Restore in 2015 in Austin, Texas. So he opened that location, I think it was Arbor Trails, and he started it. His dad had cancer, so he started it to kind of offer him that solution to help him in that kind of holistic approach. So we opened our location in May of 2020 and still going strong today, even through the pandemic. But
I would think especially through the pandemic.
Yeah, especially, it was kind of that, I wasn't working at the time, but that stage where everybody was a little more cautious about going out and about. But we did stay open because we were considered essential. But our main focus is just to provide modalities that help a wide variety of people feel better every day to do, more living, more of what they love to do. So we just want to really educate our community on the modalities we offer to help people feel better, whether that's immunity, performance recovery, just overall wellness, sleep, anxiety, anything like that, just to help people feel better. So that's our main goal.
That's awesome. I mean, I think it's really imperative to we want to live life to the fullest, but not just survive, but to actually thrive in life and being able to take a hold of your health and having access to a facility like Restore Hyper Wellness, instead of being able to go through all the hoops of your doctor and getting a physical and all the, mumbo jumbo of that type of visit.
Yeah, we want to be able to provide those modalities at a, convenience factor, but also an affordable factor to limit, those doctor's appointments and be able to have that alternative to help people feel better that might not have the option to go that route. So yeah, that's our main goal.
I think that's awesome. So I was kind of looking into it for myself. A good friend of mine had mentioned that he goes quite often.
Yeah.
And he is of retirement age, and I know that he just speaks highly of Restore Hyper Wellness in general and goes kind of on a regular basis. What are some things for our listeners would you suggest as they're maybe entering retirement or of retirement age that you see really benefit them?
Yeah, so depending on, it doesn't really matter their age range. Whenever we see a new face in our store, we like to greet them all the same and figure out their health goals, how they're feeling, how we can help them feel better.
So it's like personalized care.
It is, yeah. We try to make every single individual's experience personalized and really figure out what they do day to day and their health goals, where they're kind of lacking, whether that's energy, immunity. So we don't necessarily look at an age range and kind of give them their custom plan. So we like to make sure it's customized to them. So I think the main thing we would see is just the lack of energy probably and a lot of people. So we typically will recommend our cryotherapy. Cryotherapy and hyperbaric oxygen therapy, depending on other things they're feeling, and then IV drip therapy as well.
Okay, so for people who have never heard of cryotherapy, can you kind of go into the details of what exactly is cryotherapy? I mean, it doesn't make you cry.
No, it does not make me cry. Hopefully not. So cryotherapy, not a lot of people, a lot of people have heard the name, but they might not be familiar of what it exactly is doing for the body. So it's a 2.5 minute cold therapy session. Our chamber utilizes liquid nitrogen through a cooling chamber, and it lets out a cool, dry air at sub-zero temperature. So the customer will step into the chamber with that cool, dry air and experience those sub-zero temperatures. And those very cold temperatures kind of are similar to like an ice bath. They help with any inflammation, pain management, achy joints, anything like that. And then with that cold, really cold temperatures, it kind of puts your body in this fight or flight state. And when it tries to heat itself back up, it releases all these endorphins to help with mood and energy production, and can also boost collagen for skin health as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I mean, I know when I go to the gym, I like to go to the sauna, and then I go straight into a cold shower. And I can attest to the fact that it gives me an endorphins rush, energy right after a long workout. I'm so exhausted, but then after that, I just feel so much better. Yeah,
I too take cold showers for other benefits, but that cold therapy really does. I do it for energy, mainly the cryotherapy. It really helps with my energy and just boosting that mood as well. So a cold shower does have similar benefits. Just the wet on the skin can be a little more uncomfortable. So that's why cryotherapy kind of has an added benefit. The dry air helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as jarring
not as shocking. Yeah. It's kind of like a slow thing, like a slow buildup. You step in and it doesn't feel extremely cold. You're like, okay, this is okay. And then the last minute is when people start to feel the cold, but it's, it's anybody can do anything for 2.5 minutes.
Exactly. We were talking a little bit before the show about how cryotherapy is maybe good for injuries. And so would you suggest, maybe if someone has had a fall, depending on, the type of fall it is, that would help?
Yeah. So typically we recommend for injuries, the full body experience, plus also adding in the localized cryotherapy as well, depending on the type of injury. If it's just like a sprained ankle, that's when we'd recommend our whole body cryotherapy, and then right afterwards going into the spot treatment of localized. So it uses that same cold air. We just really narrow in on one spot and focus on that and really try to get that inflammation down.
And would you say that it helps speed the recovery?
It does. Yeah. Yep. It's kind of like an ice pack, just works a little bit quicker. And we usually recommend a few sessions depending on the injury, kind of doing them as close together. And that really speeds up that healing process by reducing that inflammation.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, I mean, I have so many more questions to ask, and I'm really excited about all of the wonderful benefits that Restore Hyper Wellness has, and we'll be right back with Alexis. Hi, I'm Rebecca Jones with Health and Retirement. And here today, we're talking with Alexis McGonigle with Restore Hyper Wellness. And I'm learning a lot of things. I hope you, as our listeners, are learning a lot of new things about how we can be, the driver in the seat of our health. Be our own health advocate. If you're not feeling well, or if you feel, low of energy, or you have an injury that maybe they can help with, and you can get personalized care through Restore Hyper Wellness. So welcome back, Alexis.
Thank you.
So I wanted to talk about the IV drips. I think this service is pretty interesting to me, and that you don't have to go all the way to the hospital to go get, some instant help with some fluids. Can you talk to us a little bit about that offer?
Yeah, that's a big thing. It's pretty convenient. We do operate off of protocols from a doctor in Austin, Texas. So we operate off of his medical protocols, and all of our new clients do a telemed call with a nurse practitioner. This does clear or not clear them for our services. So they do dive into their health history, medications they're on. So we don't just give IVs to everybody. We want to make sure they're cleared for it and it's good for them, and they can have specific micronutrients and everything like that. So once they do get cleared, we have some pre-formulated cocktails that our customers can choose from. Our nurse practitioners and nurses are great about customizing IVs for them as well. They kind of dive into their need state, what they're feeling, and can create IVs based off of that. So they can tailor those IVs to their needs. Our typical IVs does come with a liter of saline, and then you can choose how many micronutrients. We usually do up to like 13 to 14. Our lowest is 2. So you can choose however many micronutrients. The benefits vary from energy, skin health, immunity, just overall wellness, detoxing. So a very wide variety of benefits.
And in your experience, do you have any testimonials that your clients have used and kind of their experience?
Yeah. So we have a lady who has been coming in since I think last November, and she did a blood test to see micronutrients she was deficient in, and based off of that test,
that's really personalized. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's so amazing.
It's just a quick blood draw, and then it reports back with 52 different micronutrients that you're either sufficient in, deficient in, and then based off of that, you can create your IVs tailored specifically to that report. So you're getting the exact vitamins, minerals that your body needs to help you feel better. So she was on that regimen, stuck with that, and she noticed her energy levels had risen. She was feeling better. She was very consistent with it, and she was sleeping better. So she had just great results. She did a 180 from what she felt when she first came
started coming, which can really lead into your mental health as well, because if you're just so drained of energy and you're just feeling lethargic and you're not being able to sleep, that could definitely lead to other, disabilities or mental, things, depression and anxiety and things like that. So I think that's pretty amazing. And also, one thing that I find very interesting is that y'all are doing these blood testings to find, what each person is actually needing, which I think is key, because back when I was sick, I finally got tested in these ways. They saw that I was down in a certain vitamin, which you need that vitamin and able to absorb another vitamin.
Exactly. And it's kind of just like a domino effect in your health as well. I think a lot of people don't realize, like, they might think, I'm tired, it's normal, I've been tired for 5 years, like, it's just my body, it's how I am.
Yeah.
Or I have headaches every day, it's normal, instead of really, like, you shouldn't be feeling that way.
Right.
So really kind of attacking that and figuring out why you're feeling that way is the benefit of those blood tests and just taking control of your health.
Exactly. That's awesome. So I know y'all have so many services, and I know we're not going to be able to touch on all of them today.
There's a lot.
Yeah. I did see PBM. Can you tell us, what does that stand for?
PBM stands for photobiomodulation.
Okay.
What that is red light therapy. So ours utilizes near infrared and red light therapy. The red light therapy actually targets your mitochondria, which is the only light therapy that can target that. And that just helps, you need your mitochondria for energy in your day-to-day life. So this just helps kind of like turn over those cells, and provide energy. It could provide energy, immunity, help with inflammation, recovery, help you sleep better. So red light therapy has so many great benefits. It can really just target. We have a full body one, so it really just targets everything.
So what is that experience like if I go in and I'm like, I'm just, feeling pretty exhausted lately. I don't find that I'm having energy, and I'm able to pass all of the things with my doctor, which maybe should clients bring like a medication list in with them as well?
So it's just for medical services that we require that, which is just our IVs, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and IM shots. And with that, they do need to know their medications, but anybody who's 65 and older is the only one that needs maybe additional clearance. But if you just list your medications you're on, you should be good to go.
Awesome. So with the red light therapy, am I laying down or standing?
It's a stand-up. So it's 2 tall panels. All of them will be taller than the majority. So it is a full body effect. You'll just stand about 4 to 6 inches away from the panels in just about a 10-minute session. It's really relaxing. It's not hot, just kind of warm. It feels really good. I do it a lot when I'm cold because it feels really good.
Awesome. And can you go ahead and let our listeners maybe y'all's locations and how they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, so we're based in Waterfront, so 13th and Webb Street, just in that Red Robin parking lot. You can visit us in store. We have our website at restore.com, or you can give us a call to get an appointment set up at 316-749-8995.
And y'all do have other locations throughout Kansas as well?
Restore as a whole does. So not technically our franchise, but there's one in Olathe. There's actually 130 all over the country. So specifically in Kansas, it's just right now in Olathe. And then we have some close ones in Omaha, Arkansas, surrounding states.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And I really do think we're going to have you back on because we barely touched on.
We didn't dive in.
There's just so much we can offer our listeners. And again, this is Alexis with Restore Hyper Wellness, and this is Health and Retirement, and we'll be right back.
Now, our health tip of the week.
This is your health tip of the week. Today we're going to talk about sound and frequency. I'm sure you're quite aware of how music can affect your mood. Whether you're listening to lovely romantic music, it fills your heart with love. If you're watching a scary movie and they start playing scary music, you're going to start feeling that anxiety. Maybe you have anxiety, you want to relax. You're going to listen to some maybe bird sounds because it's known that birds only sing when there are lack of predators around. So that's why it helps soothe and relax you into a rest and meditative state. But did you know that it goes beyond that? Sound and frequency can actually help heal your body from the inside out. The solfeggio frequencies go by hertz, and depending on the hertz that you listen to will affect your body on a cellular level in different ways. For example, the hertz of 396 helps relieving any feelings of guilt and anxiety. There's one for love and DNA repair. So imagine you're sleeping and you put on this frequency of 528 while you're sleeping. That will help heal your body on the DNA level. And you can find these solfeggio frequencies anywhere music is found and find something that works and fits for you personally and help heal your body from the inside out. And this is your health tip of the week.
For more health tips, go to healthandretirement.com. This has been your health tip of the week.
Hi, and welcome back to Health and Retirement, where we talk about everything to do with your retirement. And with that being said, we can't really talk about retirement without talking about Medicare. And we are joined with us today by Cory Hiebert, our local market Medicare advisor. Welcome, Cory. How are you
thanks
doing?
for having me back, Rebecca. I'm doing great.
Awesome. I feel like you are a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Medicare. There's so much I don't know about it. I feel like there's so much our listeners, I think the average person, only is able to scrape the surface of all the different plans and all the different maybe scenarios that might adjust your plan as you're going through retirement and as you're entering different phases of life. So I had a scenario cross my mind the other day that I was kind of curious in how it should be handled. So let's say there's a couple and one has, come to the age of 65. They're ready to make that decision to maybe they're on group insurance and with their spouse's work, or maybe it's their work or whatever, and they're coming on 65 and they need to decide, should I go ahead and use my Medicare or not? What does that scenario look like?
Yeah, well, you brought up a great point there right in the beginning, and that point that you brought up was, should I use my Medicare or not? A common tactic that we do see is that people are told you have to take Medicare right when you turn 65. And I am here to just tear that down because that is absolutely not true.
I think maybe sometimes those people might give them that advice because they're maybe trying to get their business.
Right. If an insurance salesman is trying to sell you something on top of your Medicare, they want to tell you that you need it. But the truth is, no, don't get me wrong. Some people, when they turn 65, they need to take Medicare.
Absolutely.
If we're no longer working and we don't have a credible coverage through our employer, we absolutely do need to start Medicare. But if we are planning on working past 65 and we really like the group plan we're on, you absolutely are well within your rights to just keep your group plan and delay your Medicare benefits, and there are no penalties assessed with that.
And I think that's one good thing to know, that someone can come into you, get personalized advice, know that you are giving them informed information on what best suits their needs.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And it was really funny. I had a gentleman in my office last week, and his wife was getting her insurance through his work, because he was getting his work insurance through his employer. And he came to me and he said, Cory, like, I'm really frustrated because, like, my wife's not working. She's not 65, but I'm the one that gives her insurance. So when I have to take my Medicare, she's going to lose hers.
Oh, right.
Because he thought he had to start Medicare. And he knew he was going to keep working, and he needed to keep his wife's. So then it was really refreshing to be able to tell him, like, hey, I got great news for you. We don't need to start this right away. Your wife is more than welcome to stay on yours. You are allowed to keep yours, and you're not going to be penalized because of it. Now, just because you are still working doesn't mean that you should stay with your employer's plan. Sometimes it is good to weigh your options and come in and see what Medicare would cost you or how it would cover you different than your current insurance. So I say whenever you're approaching 65, you always want to have that conversation and just compare, know what all is out there.
So you would really suggest at 65, whether or not you're planning on retiring or not, come in, make sure your plan fits you. How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can get a hold of me at 316-867-4MED. That is 316-867-4633.
And we thank you so much, Cory, for joining us today. And this is Rebecca Jones in Health and Retirement, where your biggest asset is your health.
This broadcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Each individual investor situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Foundations only transacts business in the states where it is registered or is excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by security regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Legal services are offered by Eidelman Law Firm. Tax services offered by Market Tax Services. Market Advisory Group does not provide legal or tax advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.